Imagine a person sitting quietly in meditation, bathed in soft, gentle light, with a faint, translucent silhouette of themselves slowly dissolving into the background, as if questioning, "Who am I?" The space is minimal, calm, and serene, inviting a quiet curiosity that touches the heart. Then, see a close-up of someone gazing into the reflection of a still pool, their image slightly distorted, rippling with subtle uncertainty, embodying the tender curiosity and introspection that arises when we first confront our own sense of self. The morning light caresses their face, illuminating the gentle pause between what is seen and what is felt inside. Now envision a split world. On one side, the busy rhythm of everyday life unfolds, people rushing, cars honking, voices overlapping, representing our conventional, practical reality. On the other side, a vast, almost cosmic expanse stretches out, abstract and infinite, inviting the mind to probe deeper into ultimate truth, to wonder what lies beyond the ordinary patterns. It is surreal yet grounded, familiar yet uncanny. In the midst of this exploration, two hands hold sand, letting it slip slowly through the fingers, each grain a reminder of impermanence, of how the sense of I cannot be grasped or held on to. The soft, warm light highlights each moment, intimate and reflective, urging us to feel rather than merely think. Picture multiple semi-transparent versions of the same person, overlapping and shifting, at work, with family, alone, illustrating the countless roles and facets that comprise what we call self. Light and shadow interplay across these forms, revealing both the beauty and the complexity of our multiplicity. Beside them, three pillars rise, labeled permanent, independent, and one single self. Slowly, cracks form along their surfaces, subtle yet undeniable, challenging the assumptions we cling to so dearly, reminding us that the fixed image of ourselves may be an illusion. Step further into awareness. A vibrant network of senses comes alive. Eyes, ears, hands, and mind, all interwoven with streams of thought, emotion, and sensation. The mind labels, judges, remembers, reacts, yet all this flows in a dynamic dance of experience. Overhead, a gentle, luminous light spreads across a deserted stage, illuminating everything without interfering, symbolizing awareness itself, observing, not controlling, witnessing life as it unfolds moment by moment. A strong river surges forward, each drop a continuation of countless previous ones, a living metaphor for the momentum of life. The currents represent conditions, habits, choices, and intentions shaped over time. Swirls of color, gold, blue, amber, ripple through the water, visualizing craving, desire, and the subtle confusion that fuels the ongoing flow of experience. Yet this is not a prison. It is a process, vibrant and alive, capable of change. Each act of mindful observation nudges the current, alters its path, and softens the pull of old patterns. Imagine a path unfolding in morning light, its branches stretching outward, inviting gentle exploration and conscious response. Here, choice meets awareness, and freedom emerges, not from control, but from clarity. Finally, see a figure standing amidst nature, arms wide open, sunlight streaming through clouds, embodying the release of clinging, the presence of awareness, and the serenity of living fully in each moment. There is a profound sense of connection, a deep, breathing freedom, a tender acknowledgement that life flows not for a fixed self, but through a luminous, living process which we are both witness and participant, awake to the unfolding mystery of now. As we move deeper into understanding the self, imagine layers peeling away, revealing not one single entity but a mosaic of experiences, thoughts, and roles. Picture yourself reflected in countless subtle mirrors, one showing you at work, focused and determined, another with family, gentle and attentive, another alone, contemplative, uncertain. Each reflection shifts with every breath, every feeling, every passing thought. You begin to notice that there isn't one unchanging I behind these images, just a collection of ever-changing moments flowing together, overlapping, sometimes contradictory, yet each real in its own way. Now see 3 pillars again, glowing faintly in the soft morning light. They are labeled permanent, independent, and one single self, the assumptions we often hold about our inner identity. Slowly, you notice tiny cracks forming along their surfaces, subtle fractures that reveal the fragility of these beliefs. Perhaps you realize nothing inside you remains exactly the same from one moment to the next. Your thoughts, emotions, and desires shift like clouds moving across the sky. Even your sense of control of who directs these currents feels less solid than you assumed. Imagine for a moment the flow of emotions, anger rising suddenly, joy flickering briefly, sadness sweeping and uninvited. Did you choose these feelings? Or did they appear as naturally as wind across a field, arising in response to conditions, memories, sensations, and attention? You notice that trying to hold on to them or push them away only strengthens their grip. Yet observing them with curiosity, without judgment, allows the patterns to become visible. They are not you, but experiences moving through you, interwoven with countless causes and conditions. Visualize your thoughts as streams merging into a river. Some streams carry pleasure, some pain, some neutral experiences that seem to pass unnoticed. The river flows without pause, without a captain steering it. Yet it moves harmoniously, shaped by everything that feeds into it. Each act of awareness, each gentle observation, is like a pebble dropped into the current, small, yet creating ripples that can alter the path subtly, inviting freedom, lightness, and clarity. Now, picture the hidden forces that keep this river flowing. The quiet craving for comfort, for security, for pleasure, the subtle grasping at permanence, the gentle pull of misunderstanding, the confusion about who we think we are and how life works. These forces are the fuel behind each motion, each thought, each reaction. They are neither enemies nor faults. They are natural, like fire needing oxygen. Yet, when seen clearly, you realize they can be softened, guided, and transformed. The current can shift, the flow can change, and the sense of being trapped dissolves. Finally, imagine standing at the riverbank, feeling the pulse of life moving through every pebble, every ripple, every wave. You understand that there is no single self steering the current, yet the river of experience continues beautifully, effortlessly. You are not separate from it. You are a living part of the flow, awake to its movement, free to respond with wisdom, compassion, and presence. Awareness does not control the river. It notices, it embraces, it flows alongside. In this realization, a soft peace arises, a gentle freedom, a sense that life is unfolding exactly as it should, moment by moment, beyond fear, beyond clinging, simply as it is. Now, let's turn our attention to the moment-to-moment experience of life itself, to the very process of how reality unfolds. Imagine your senses coming alive, eyes noticing light and color, ears catching sound, skin feeling the warmth or pressure of the world around you, nose detecting subtle scents, tongue tasting. Inside, the mind dances with thoughts, memories, and emotions. This is the beginning of experience, contact, the meeting between the world and your awareness. It is not directed by a central I, but arises naturally, spontaneously, beautifully. Notice the feeling tone that follows contact, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Perhaps a gentle warmth touches your skin, and it feels pleasant. Perhaps a loud sound interrupts your attention, and it feels unpleasant. Perhaps a passing sight goes unnoticed, and it feels neutral. These responses emerge automatically, flowing through you like wind brushing across a field. No effort is required. Yet, when observed, the subtle patterns become vivid and meaningful. Next, imagine a mind labeling and recognizing, this is a dog barking. This is the smell of coffee. I feel anxious. Each label is informed by memory, language, and past experience, providing shape and meaning to what otherwise might feel raw or chaotic. You realize that without this recognition, you would be immersed in unshaped sensations, adrift without reference. Recognition, memory, and intention weave together, creating the texture of life as you know it. Then comes the gentle current of reaction. You want more of what feels pleasant, wish to avoid the unpleasant, and sometimes are puzzled by the neutral. Your intentions arise naturally, to act, to speak, to think, to plan. And yet, you notice this flow happens without a permanent self-controlling it. Awareness, like light on a stage, illuminates without acting, noticing each movement, each thought, each emotion. Picture the interplay. Contact, feeling, recognition, reaction. They arise together, like dancers moving in harmony, constantly shaping and reshaping what appears next. Awareness moves with them, not above them, not controlling, simply witnessing. In this witnessing, you begin to see the incredible truth. Life is not happening to a fixed, unchanging me. It is the unfolding of interconnected forces, subtle and dynamic, each moment giving rise to the next, each part influencing the whole. Now imagine the relief that comes with this insight, the pressure of responsibility for everything, the thought that you must control, direct, or fix life softens. Questions like, why am I like this? Or why did this happen to me? Fade into curiosity. What is happening in this moment? You begin to see patterns, to notice causes and conditions, to observe without blame, without fear. Life becomes less a struggle against reality and more a dance with it, fluid, alive, responsive, and awake. In this unfolding, a quiet freedom arises, not freedom from life, but freedom within it. The freedom to see clearly, to respond with wisdom, to move with awareness, to touch the present without clinging or resisting. You are no longer chasing a fixed self or try to control the river. You are present within the flow, awake to its beauty, open to its mystery, and attuned to the richness of every passing moment. Each breath, each sensation, each thought is a window into the infinite dance of awareness and experience, moment by moment, without interruption, without owner, simply alive. As we observe this unfolding river of experience, a natural question arises. If there is no fixed self steering the course, why does life feel continuous? Why does it feel personal, as though the story of existence is being lived by me alone? Imagine a river flowing, each drop propelled forward not by one force, but by the momentum of every drop that has ever passed, every current, every eddy. Life flows in the same way. Each moment arises because of countless conditions, past actions, intentions, habits, thoughts, and feelings, interweaving to carry experience forward. Picture the hidden currents. Habits formed over years, patterns repeated, so often they feel automatic, like muscle memory in the mind. Think of the countless moments you have reacted out of desire, fear, or craving. Each one adds to the current, shaping the trajectory of your experience. Even if there were no self pulling the oars, the river still moves gracefully, guided by these accumulated causes. Awareness witnesses it all, like sunlight falling on the water, illuminating without altering, gently revealing the patterns in motion. And beneath it all lies something more subtle, the fuel that drives these currents. In Buddhism, it is called tanha, craving, thirst, wanting. This is the deep pull within us, the desire for pleasure, for security, for permanence, for escape from discomfort. Notice how naturally this manifests. From the tiny impulses to check your phone, to the longing to be understood, to be loved, to feel safe, to feel right. Every craving, every grasping thought becomes a spark that feeds the ongoing flow of experience. Paired with this is a subtle confusion that clouds our perception, the not seeing clearly of things as they are. It is this combination, craving and misunderstanding, that keeps the momentum rolling, that makes life feel so personal, so necessary, so mine. And yet, when we see it with clarity, a shift begins. Like stepping aside from the riverbank to observe, we start to notice the flow without being swept away. We see the forces at work, moment by moment, and begin to understand that the machinery of life is not a prison. It is a process. Every time awareness steps in, through mindfulness, through meditation, through ethical choice, the current shifts even slightly. Each moment of seeing without reacting, each moment of noticing without clinging, softens the force of craving. Each time we understand conditions rather than blame or resist, the patterns change, gently, naturally. The river does not stop, but it flows more freely, with more clarity, with more peace. Imagine standing at the riverbank now, feeling the pulse of life moving through each wave, each ripple, each drop. You realize there is no hidden captain, no permanent I controlling the current. Yet, the river flows beautifully, effortlessly, naturally. You are not separate from it. You are part of flow, awake, present, responsive. In this witnessing, a profound freedom arises. The freedom to live without clinging, without fear, without trying to hold on to what cannot be held. Life becomes an intricate dance, alive with movement, luminous with awareness, and full of the quiet, radiant beauty of simply being here moment by moment. As we stand by the flowing river of experience, we begin to notice the subtle power of observation itself. Each time we watch without judgment, without clinging, a gentle shift occurs. Imagine the difference between reaching into the river to grasp a droplet, only to see it slip away, and simply holding your hand above the water, feeling its presence, seeing its movement, letting it flow naturally. Awareness is like this. It does not force, does not control, yet it has the power to transform the experience from within. Now, picture the currents of craving and misunderstanding as gentle fires, flickering with intensity. They arise automatically, desires for comfort, for recognition, for permanence. We feel pulled by them, swept along, convinced that they are us, that they define our identity. Yet, each time we notice them, each time we see their impermanence, their tendency to arise and fade, the fire softens. We are not extinguishing life or denying feeling. We are simply seeing it clearly, understanding its nature, and in doing so, finding freedom. Visualize the flow of experience as a dance of countless elements, sights, sounds, sensations, thoughts, emotions, all interweaving. There is no single dancer in control. The dance simply happens. And here, in this recognition, comes a profound relief. The pressure to manage, to fix, to defend a rigid sense of self begins to ease. Life is no longer a battle to control what cannot be controlled. It becomes an unfolding mystery to engage with moment by moment, breath by breath. Imagine yourself stepping lightly into this dance, aware but not grasping, present but not clinging. You notice how thoughts rise and pass, like clouds moving across a vast sky. Emotions ripple through, sometimes intense, sometimes gentle, yet none of them are fixed or permanent. The river continues to flow, yet you are no longer trapped by the illusion of ownership, by the idea that there must be a me behind everything. There is simply awareness, fluid and luminous, moving to the currents of life. See now how this awareness brings a new quality to daily experience. A mundane moment, a cup of tea, a conversation, a breath of fresh air becomes radiant. You notice the texture of sensation, the subtle rhythm of thought, the ebb and flow of feeling. Life no longer feels like something happening to me struggling to control it. It becomes a process to witness, to engage with, to move through with curiosity and compassion. Freedom emerges naturally here. It is not the freedom of detachment from life, but the freedom within life, the freedom to respond rather than react, to observe rather than judge, to experience fully without clinging. With each moment of mindful attention, the currents of craving weaken, the illusions of a permanent self dissolve slightly, and a gentle peace arises. This is a heart of the practice, not theory, not abstract belief, but seeing clearly, directly, in your own lived experience, that life is a luminous unfolding, and you are awake within it, fully present, fully alive. As we continue along this journey of awareness, a remarkable transformation begins to unfold. Imagine the moments of suffering, the moments of tension, frustration, or fear, how they once felt heavy, personal, inescapable. Now, with the understanding that there is no fixed, separate self controlling them, these experiences begin to shift. They are no longer something happening to me, but patterns arising naturally, flowing to the river of life, influenced by causes and conditions. Awareness witnesses them, and in witnessing, the weight lightens. Picture a gentle stream flowing into a still lake. Each wave, each ripple, is acknowledged, yet it does not disturb the calm of the lake itself. Similarly, when you notice your own emotions and thoughts, labeling them, observing them, allowing them to arise and pass without clinging, a space opens. A quiet inner freedom that was always present but hidden beneath identification with the I. Suffering remains, but its grip loosens. The river of experience continues. But you are no longer bound by the illusion that it all centers around a permanent self. Now envision how this understanding colors your relationship with the world. Interactions with others, once filtered through ego, expectation, and judgment, begin to feel lighter. Compassion arises naturally because you begin to see that everyone is moving to the same river, shaped by conditions, driven by craving and confusion. Anger softens, judgment fades, and kindness flows effortlessly, not as a moral effort, but as a natural response to seeing clearly. Consider the small, everyday moments, the touch of a loved one, the laughter of a friend, the smell of rain on the earth. With this perspective, they are no longer fleeting or grasped at, but fully present, vivid, alive. Each moment is a gift precisely because it cannot be held on to. Each sensation, thought, or emotion is a chance to see the truth of impermanence, interconnectedness, and the luminous nature of awareness itself. Imagine the body, the mind, and the world interacting as a vast, interwoven system, each part influencing the next, yet none controlling the whole. The mind does not dominate. The self does not command. Experience simply arises, unfolds, and dissolves. And in this, a deep, abiding peace emerges, not imposed from outside, not forced, but arising naturally from seeing clearly, moment by moment, the way life flows. Here, in this space, a subtle joy appears, not the fleeting happiness of pleasure or possession, but a profound ease, a soft luminosity that comes from being fully awake, fully present, fully engaged. The currents of craving and confusion still arise, as naturally as waves in the ocean, but they no longer dictate the course. Awareness moves with them, sees them, embraces them, and gently transforms them into insight, freedom, and compassion. In this understanding, life becomes a dance of movement and stillness, of flow and observation. You are neither trapped by suffering nor lost in illusion. You are awake within the ever-changing river, fully alive, and finally free to respond with wisdom, kindness, and love to every passing moment. The illusion of a fixed self dissolves, and in its place, a living, breathing freedom blooms, subtle, radiant, and quietly unstoppable. As we move forward, let's explore how this understanding of the self and the flow of experience begins to shape the way we live every day. Imagine your life not as a series of battles to win, problems to solve, or identities to defend, but as a continuous, unfolding stream of moments, each one arising, existing, and passing, inviting your awareness to meet it fully. Awareness becomes a gentle guide, not a rigid controller, illuminating the path without forcing it, seeing the patterns without clinging to them. Picture a moment of frustration at work, a feeling you once would have labeled as mine, a failure, or flaw in yourself. Now, notice it arise, witness it, and observe the conditions that brought it forth, the tiredness, the expectations, the habits of thought that amplify it. You see that as a pattern, not a fixed I, failing or succeeding. This subtle shift changes everything. Instead of reacting with tension or self-judgment, you respond with clarity, with an open mind, with calmness. The moment still exists, but the story you tell yourself about it softens. Now imagine the relationships in your life. Conflicts, misunderstandings, disappointments. These all appear as naturally arising phenomena within the flow of experience. When we cling to the idea of a fixed self, they feel intensely personal, threatening, or intolerable. But when we see the self as fluid, changing, interwoven with causes and conditions, interactions take on a new light. Compassion arises effortlessly. Patience becomes possible, and even difficult moments are met with clarity. You begin to notice that others, like yourself, are also navigating their own rivers of thoughts, emotions, and habits, and this understanding softens the heart naturally. Consider your daily decisions, the choices big and small that shape your life. Awareness now becomes a lens through which you act. Instead of impulsively reacting, you pause, notice the currents of desire, fear, and habit that are pushing you, and choose your response with insight. Each decision becomes an opportunity to act with skill, kindness, and mindfulness. Even the mundane, a conversation, a cup of tea, a walk outside, becomes a practice, a chance to engage fully with life and observe the impermanence and interconnection of every moment. Visualize the entire rhythm of your life as a dynamic interplay between movement and observation. Thoughts rise and fall, emotions ebb and flow, sensations appear and fade, yet awareness remains steady yet fluid, noticing without clinging, witnessing without needing to control. There is no fixed self struggling to make life perfect. No, I desperately trying to grasp or hold. There is simply the flow, alive and vibrant, and you are awake within it, responsive and free. And in this freedom, a gentle joy arises, not the transient pleasure of possession or success, but the enduring joy of seeing clearly, of being present, of living fully without being trapped by the illusion of control. Each breath, each feeling, each passing thought becomes a window into the richness of existence, a moment to connect with life as it truly is. The river continues to flow. Currents of craving and confusion still appear, but they no longer dominate. Awareness moves with them, understanding their nature, embracing them, and gradually transforming the experience into wisdom, peace, and compassion. Here, in this realization, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Life is no longer a series of struggles to protect a fragile self, but a luminous dance of moments, alive with connection, clarity, and freedom. You are neither captive to craving nor bound by fear. You are awake within the unfolding flow, fully alive, fully present, and deeply at peace. As we continue to follow the river of awareness, another profound realization emerges. The more we see the self as fluid and impermanent, the more we can embrace life as it is, without clinging or resistance. Imagine holding a leaf in your hand. If you grasp it tightly, it crumples. If you try to stop the wind from moving it, you only create tension. But if you open your hand and let it float freely, it dances naturally, in harmony with the current. Life is much the same. When we loosen our grip on the idea of a fixed self, the flow of experience becomes lighter, more radiant, more alive. Notice how impermanence touches every aspect of existence. Our thoughts, our emotions, our relationships, even the body itself. Each moment arises, blossoms, and fades. When we cling to permanence, we suffer. When we see impermanence clearly, a deep freedom arises. This is not a cold or distant freedom, but a warmth that flows into every corner of life. We begin to experience the softening of fear, the easing of anxiety, the quiet joy of being fully present. Now imagine the moments when loss, disappointment, or grief arise. With a fixed self, these moments can feel crushing, as if life is attacking you. But when we understand that experience flows through causes and conditions, that there is no single I to be crushed or destroyed, we meet difficulty with openness. Pain is no longer something to resist or deny, but a teacher, a pattern to observe, a wave to ride with awareness and compassion. We begin to see clearly that all things arise and pass, and in this seeing, we are liberated from the chains of fear and attachment. Think of the subtle threads that connect everything. Your breath, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the way thoughts ripple across the mind, the laughter of a friend, the warmth of sunlight. Each moment is fleeting, yet each is complete in itself. When we stop trying to cling to a fixed self, we begin to participate fully in this interwoven dance. Life is no longer about control or ownership. It is about engagement, presence, and responsiveness. Each experience becomes a doorway to awareness, each sensation a chance to glimpse the luminous, impermanent nature of reality. And in this way, wisdom and compassion naturally arise. When we see the self as fluid, we see others in the same light. Their struggles, joys, and fears are also part of the unfolding flow. Judgment softens, empathy expands, and kindness arises spontaneously. We act not from obligation, not from ego, but from clear, heartfelt understanding. Life, once heavy with the burden of defending a fragile I, becomes a river of connection, clarity, and love. Finally, imagine resting in this awareness. There is no need to push, to hold, to defend. There is only presence. Each breath, each beat of the heart, each passing thought is an invitation to witness, to feel, to engage fully without clinging. The currents of craving and confusion still appear, but they are no longer commands. They are patterns to observe, to understand, and to release. In this space, a quiet, radiant peace blooms, a peace that comes not from escaping life, but from embracing it as it truly is in all its impermanence, all its motion, all its beauty. Life becomes luminous, fluid, and free. The self, once imagined as solid and unchanging, dissolves into the dance of experience, leaving only awareness, presence, and the joy of simply being here, fully alive, in this very moment. As we approach the culmination of this journey, we begin to see how these insights, seeing the self as fluid, understanding the nature of experience, observing without clinging, can transform every corner of our daily lives. Imagine waking in the morning and noticing the first light filtering through the window. The thoughts that arise are not you in a fixed sense. They are part of the river, passing naturally. The sensations of your body, the stirrings of intention, the memories and anticipations, all flow through awareness, neither solid nor separate, yet alive with meaning. Consider your interactions with others. When someone speaks harshly, when plans go awry, when emotions flare, the initial impulse might be to defend a fragile I, to react, to cling, to blame. But when we remember the truth of impermanence, the self's fluidity, and the interdependent nature of experience, these situations take on a new texture. Reactions soften, patience arises, and a subtle curiosity emerges. What conditions have led to this? How can I respond wisely? You begin to see that conflicts are not personal attacks, but opportunities to practice awareness, compassion, and understanding. Visualize your inner life as a delicate ecosystem. Thoughts, emotions, and sensations interact like streams and rivers, flowing into one another, shaping the landscape. Awareness is like sunlight filtering through the trees, illuminating without interfering, revealing patterns, subtle connections, and hidden currents. When you notice these movements clearly, you begin to navigate life not as a constant struggle control, but as a responsive, attentive presence, fully alive to what arises in each moment. Even the small, seemingly mundane moments of life gain profound significance. Washing the dishes, walking in the park, listening to a friend, each becomes a practice in mindfulness, a chance to witness impermanence, to taste the flow of life without grasping. The sense of self loosens, revealing an underlying freedom, a spaciousness where before there was tension and resistance. You find yourself laughing more easily, breathing more deeply, moving through the day with a gentle, steady joy that does not depend on external circumstances. And here is the deep gift of understanding. The freedom that arises from seeing clearly is not separate from life. It is life itself, lived fully and consciously. You no longer chase an illusory I or try to defend a fragile identity. Instead, you flow with the current of experience, awake to each sensation, each thought, each passing moment, responding with clarity, kindness, and wisdom. Life is no longer a burden to endure. It is a river to engage with, a dance to join, a song to be heard. Finally, imagine the calm that arises when we fully integrate this awareness into our being. The mind, once scattered with grasping and fear, becomes clear and attentive. The heart, once burdened with tension and attachment, becomes soft and open. The body, once constrained by identification and control, moves with ease and presence. All of life, ordinary and extraordinary, flows with new vibrancy. You are awake. You are here. You are fully alive, not as a fixed self, but as awareness, presence, and the living unfolding of existence itself. Now, as we reach the final part of this journey, the question arises again. If there is no fixed self, who is living this life? And the answer, paradoxically, is clear. Life itself is living. Experience is happening, moment by moment, flowing like a river. And awareness is a gentle current that notices, embraces, and participates without grasping. The I we once held on to so tightly is no longer a burden, no longer a source of fear or limitation. It dissolves into the vivid, interconnected dance of existence, revealing a freedom that is profound, subtle, and unshakable. Picture the ordinary world anew. The morning sunlight, the rustle of leaves, the rhythm of your own breath. Each moment arrives, shines, and passes, carrying a beauty that is immediate, alive, and unclaimed. The river of experience flows, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, yet it no longer revolves around a fragile sense of me. With each passing moment, awareness deepens, and life becomes more intimate, more vibrant, more luminous. You are not apart from it. You are a part of it, yet you are free to observe, to respond, to engage with clarity and compassion. Imagine your relationships transformed. Anger softens, resentment fades, empathy expands. Seeing others as fellow participants in the unfolding flow, shaped by conditions, flow with their own currents, brings a natural compassion that does not demand anything, does not cling, does not judge. The heart opens effortlessly, and love is no longer possession or expectation, but a natural movement of connection, fully present and alive in the moment. Even the inevitable challenges of life, loss, disappointment, uncertainty, take on a new form. They are no longer crises threatening a permanent self, but events arising in the field of experience, to be met with awareness and understanding. Each difficulty becomes a teacher, each moment of pain an opportunity to witness, to learn, and to move with life instead of resisting it. The fear of impermanence melts, replaced by a profound ease, a steady joy in simply being awake to what is. Now, take a deep breath and feel the vastness of this realization. Life is not something you must control or defend. Life is a continuous unfolding of sensations, thoughts, emotions, and perceptions interwoven in an endless dance. The self, once imagined as fixed and separate, has dissolved into clarity and freedom. Awareness shines gently through each experience, revealing the beauty, the impermanence, and the deep interconnectedness of all things. In this awakening, every moment becomes sacred. Every interaction becomes an opportunity for clarity and compassion. Every breath becomes a doorway to freedom. You no longer need to chase or cling, no longer need to fear or defend. You are alive, fully present, fully awake, flowing with life itself. The I is gone, yet the richness of existence has never been fuller. And in that realization, a profound peace blooms, silent, radiant, and utterly transformative. This is the heart of the teaching. Freedom does not come from creating a self or holding on to one. It comes from seeing clearly, moment by moment, the impermanent, interconnected, and luminous nature of all that arises. And when we live from that place of awareness, life becomes a radiant, flowing journey, fully awake, fully alive, and infinitely free.